Hi, good morning, everybody. First of all, thank you, Will. Appreciate it. And thank you to the SLTC for allowing us the opportunity to be up here and talk about not just our new tanning system, but insights into a development of the alternative process. So yeah, let's get into it. Right, it's a little introduction. Trumpler have been around since 1868, if I'm not mistaken. And if my maths is right, that makes it 156 years we've been around. With our headquarters in Worms and 12 subsidiaries, we managed to send product into over 100 countries. And we have over 400 employees worldwide. We have production facilities in Germany, 2 plants, one in Spain, one in Italy, and also one in Mexico. So just a little overview of the company. Right, so challenges in the leather industry and a reason why we need to develop new tanning systems. As we can see up here, mitigating pollution in the leather production. I think this speaks for itself. We all know OEMs nowadays, end customers, they're all looking at sustainability, reduction in pollutants, clean processing, if we can put it like that. Sustainability is a word that we are all familiar with. It's a buzzword in the leather industry at the moment, and it's something that we really need to focus on. Chemical compliance, we all have our favorite REACH regulations that we need to follow. And it's only getting more strict. If you have a look at the chrome levels that they're looking to introduce, bisphenol levels, this all needs to be taken into consideration when producing leather, going through production. Water management. Water is the most scarce resource that we have on the planet, and what we can do to reduce use of water in production, I think, is very, very important. Energy efficiency, again, something that we need to take into consideration, something that is massively important. I think we get the idea. Leather needs to become more sustainable. It needs to become a cleaner, easier process with reduced emissions. That's the end game. So this is one of my favorite slides that I enjoy speaking about, is the history of tanning. And if we start way back, vegetable tanning. If you have a look, Dr. Google will tell you that vegetable tanning started approximately 7,000 years ago. There has actually been articles found that have been tanned 7,000 years ago with different vegetable tannins. And then it runs through there. We go to alum tanning. You'll recognize a lot of these, and a lot of them are also under threat at the moment because of the industry standards we go through. The chromium tanning, obviously we all know that it is gold standard at the moment. It's very difficult to beat. It's easy to use, but it's under attack. You know, guys are wanting alternatives to chrome tanning. We have formaldehyde tanning, zirconium salts, aromatic syntans. The list goes on and on. Epoxy tanning. We then get to the more common ones, dialdehydes, so glutaraldehyde being the main one that we're familiar with. Sodium aluminium silicates, chlorotriazines, olive leaf extract, which is a new one coming out of Germany. And then the latest one, PCMS. And then we should add on a little dot at the end there for Trumpler's new system, which we'll talk about in a couple of minutes. So if we have a look at this, why do we need to develop new processes and the challenges that we face? A big one is ensuring hydrothermal stability, and this comes down to being able to shave your hide. If you don't have this, you don't have a system to run. It's very important that you get at least above 70 degrees for you to be able to run shaving machines through production. You're looking at 13 to 15 meters a minute of a shaving machine. Builds up a lot of heat. If you don't have that hydrothermal stability, you're not going to be able to shave your leather down to substance. High consumption of syntans, vegetable tannins, and specialized fat liquors. As we all know, all of these metal-free tanning systems require a large amount of retanning materials to get the properties of the leather. Unlike chrome tanning, you're looking anywhere upwards of 20 to 30% of retanning chemicals. It's really a lot, and the cost is also something that needs to be considered. Normally, there's a difficulty in achieving the deep shades with metal-free, and this is because the alternative tanning systems, whichever ones you use, fight for the same binding sites of tanning as the dye stuffs do. So in the past, it's been very difficult to get really deep, intense shades in color. Something that we've been able to mitigate with our new system. You have a decreased productivity due to additional process steps. Again, this is just because there is a lot more that is required going into metal-free, wet white retanning. It takes a lot longer normally than your standard chrome production. And then, as I said, cost considerations, and this is a massive one for the tanneries, especially end customers. We all know we're fighting with customers about pricing. They want cheap leather, but they want it to be the best leather possible. And this filters down from OEM down to tannery, down to chemical, all the way back to the beginning. So it is something that needs to be taken into consideration. Right, so let me introduce to you our dye tan system. Daryl, where are you sitting? You're here somewhere. There he is at the back there, Daryl Cassingham, ladies and gentlemen, the father of the dye tan system. The revolutionary, so I'm going to read this because it just got put in the other day. The revolutionary patented chemical processing was conceived and invented by Daryl Cassingham, Dr. Leather, and incorporates technological innovations from Chroma and Trumpler to offer a genuine alternative to existing metal-free and chrome-tanned leathers for the 21st century. That's a mouthful. Just for some heads up, Chroma is the company that produces the dye stuff for Trumpler. If we carry on here, you'll see the dye tan is the name of the entire technology, and what we're talking about here is the actual process, the dye tan process. It's branded by Trumpler. It is also a patented process. Whereas if you have a look at the Abuquero TR22 and Abuquero Black SL, these are the actual products that are developed by Chroma. And they are also patented, and they're branded by Chroma. So you have the two chemicals we use for the system, that's from Chroma, and we have the dye tan actual tanning system, which is Trumpler based. So the benefits of the dye tan system, obviously it's chrome, metal, aldehyde free, bisphenol free. It ticks all the right boxes for going forward in industry. It's a really simple process to run. It is applied at a neutral, slightly alkaline pH. There is no need to pickle, no need for any sodium chloride additions in the processing. With this, you also use a very low water float system. Your effluent is not loaded. And all of these are important going forward with the sustainability of the actual process. It's based on covalent bonds on the collagen chains. And we'll get a little bit more into the chemistry. I don't want to give too much away, purely for the fact that I think I'll probably stuff it up a little bit, but that's why we have Daryl in the background there. It's exceptionally robust and produces consistent hydrothermal temperatures. And this is really important, is that the consistency of the temperatures remains. If you have one batch that's sitting at 65 degrees and one batch at 75, that doesn't work, because everything needs to go through the same process. You need to be able to ensure that your leathers are going to be the same at the end. We can achieve any colors from two possible options. At the moment, we only produce the Abuquero TR22, which is a colorless reactive dye stuff. There's a little bit of a confusion there. It is a reactive dye stuff, but it's a colorless version. And then we have the Abuquero Black SL, which is a black version of the reactive dye stuff. So with these, any color combination can be applied. What you find is that when we talk about tanning and dyeing in the same step, this is only possible with the black dye stuff. There are other chemical or other compounds that we have of other colors. However, we only market the black and the colorless at the moment. That's not to say in the future that might change. We might introduce other colors depending on customers' needs. And yeah, like I said, all other colors, and they're bright, intensive dyings. There is no fighting over chemical bonding. So we're able to achieve really, really bright, intense shades. A little bit of the chemistry here, and this is all you're going to see. So what happens is that we have a vinyl sulfone, which is part of the reactive dye stuff. Well, I see you've got a little smile on your face there, and that worries me. This forms covalent crosslinks on the collagen, as do all other alternative tanning methods. They all bind to the amino groups. If I'm not mistaken, Daryl, you can also correct me if I'm wrong. It's bi and tri covalent bonding. Yeah. 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 There we go. You heard it from the man himself. Quickly go past that before I get myself into trouble. So if we have a look at the Ditan tanning system, the only requirement, the only amount of product that you use is 3 to 4%. I would actually say 4% is too much. We managed to cut that down to 3%, depending on the thickness of pelts, 3.5%. One of the considerations we need to take is that we haven't been able yet to do this on full substance. It's only on lime split pelts. We are working towards doing this on full substance. And again, it's a learning step for us as well, the more we get into it. There is no syntan needed. So there's no combination tannages, which sometimes you have to use with other tanning systems, especially glute. We won't mention the other ones, but a lot of guys like to do a syntan cross combination. So with the Ditan, you don't have to do this. All you need is 3 or 4% of the Ditan, and you get your shrinkage temperature at least above 70 degrees. We've had it at 80, 81, 82 degrees. What you find is it's a pH controlled tannage. So there is no heating required. This is another great aspect to it. You don't have to waste energy heating the drums up to temperature. It's all controlled via pH. Again, with the friction in the drums, when the drums are running, obviously you do get an increase in temperature. This does help with the hydrothermal shrinkage temperature, but it's not required. If you run a cold drum and you do a one hide sample and you stay at a temperature of 30 degrees, 25 degrees, you will still reach 75 degrees shrinkage temperature. Enhanced color fastness, another great benefit. And then a standard retannage applicable. And well, when we say a standard retannage applicable, this is not according to chrome tan. This is according to metal-free tannage. So it'll be the same as your glutes or your F90s, your zeolites. It's the same. You still require more, but there's nothing special to it. There's no special chemicals that are required to run the process. It's very, very standard. Your deliming and baiting. Your deliming is very important, and we need to make sure we are as ammonia free as possible. And again, this is nothing new for metal free tannages. It's the same all over. From there, we go straight into tanning. Like I said, there is no need to pickle. So go straight into tanning at a pH of 7.5. Basification or alkaline fixation. This is where we raise the pH. So the product takes about 3 hours to penetrate the full cross section of the hide. And after that, we raise the pH up to about a pH of 9.5, somewhere in between there, and run it there for 6 to 8 hours. After which we go through a alkaline fixation. So at that pH at 9.5, that's where the reaction actually takes place. And after that, we add acid to bring it back down again. This is purely for the fact that you need to obviously then go into your retanning steps. And also, as you lower the pH, it gets more, at a high pH, it's susceptible to mold growth. So this is also just for preservation to inhibit the growth of mold going down. We normally take it down to about 4.5, and this is normally a perfect pH to start your retannage and after shaving. So you'll find then in your retanning steps, you won't have any neutralization straight from a wash into your retanning. Quite simple. So here you can just see it's a graph showing different tannages. The Ditan is, as you can see, straight into at a pH of 7, a little bit of time to penetrate, and then we shoot the pH up to 9.5 and let it run there, and that's where the reaction takes place, after which we drop it down. And you can see compared to all the other tannages, we're in the same ballpark time-wise. Again, very simple process to control and very easy to maintain in production. It follows the exact same production schedules. There is no change needed in tanneries to run the process. From here, you can see, so the Aviquero TR22, that's our colorless version on the left-hand side there. These are trials that were done at an upscaling facility in Germany. The shrinkage temperature of the TR22, you can see there is 76 degrees. And then on the right-hand side is the black SL, and with a shrinkage temperature of 74 degrees. I must say, for just a point of interest, the black one can create some problems, and this is due to machineries. When you're trying to measure it with your photo cells, it doesn't pick it up. So it is something that we're going to have to look at. But apart from that, everything runs really smoothly. If I'm not mistaken, here, the next slide, you can actually see the shavings that come off the machine at the end. Very good shavability at 15 meters a minute, which is production speeds. It's important to keep it up there, otherwise your production drops off. The shavings are dry, and so is the flesh side of the hide. There are no burnt patches. The stickiness is not there. Very easy to feed into the machine. There's no grip, and very, very good cutting of the shavings. So some of the benefits of the Diatan system. It's a sustainable approach to traditional leather processing. When we say a sustainable approach, we're talking about the actual process. The entire tanning system is more sustainable with you've got cleaner effluents, less water used in process, energy efficiency is lowered. So in that regard, that's what you're looking at in terms of a sustainable approach to the leather manufacture. High performance leather. Very good quality. It meets all specifications across a myriad of articles. We can produce anything from shoe uppers to automotive, and everything in between. The one thing we haven't managed to get right yet is waterproof, water resistant leather. This is something that we're still working on. I do believe that somewhere in the future we will be able to get there. But again, it needs some playing and different alternatives in the retannage to get there. Eco-conscious solution, again, free from chrome, free from metals, free from aldehydes, free from bisphenols. This is another one that will come and get us sooner or later. So in that respect, we need to make sure that we reach all the regulations that are required. Reduce pollution, lower discharge of mass pollutants in your effluents. This is what you're looking for. We also find that we can take the shavings. We have a biopolymer production plant in Spain. We are doing a lot of work at the moment to take the shavings from the Diatan system and turn these into biopolymers, again, to be reused in the process in retanning. Environmental impact reduction. So here again, we really reduce the energy, water use, process time, CO2 emissions. As versatile, it's a great advancement in the leather industry. And yeah, if you have a look, global distribution is done by Trumpler. You know, we are the exclusive distributor of the product, and it's being made available to customers around the world. We've already got some customers taking the product, and we are always advancing our trials into different markets. So again, supported by Trumpler's technical expertise. And like I say, we're still learning the process. You know, we've got some great leathers, but every day is a different day. And the articles that are coming out are really, some of them are really beautiful pieces of leather. We've got a lot of the luxury brands showing a lot of interest. So hopefully going forward in the future, we see a lot of improvements with the system.